Here it goes here. It transcends, listen, this is the whole key here. It transcends all understanding. When you try to sit there and figuring it out is not one of the steps. Go try to figure this food situation out. And nobody can argue with me because you know it all failed, right? Everybody here knows that. It failed with me. I mean, it doesn't end the failure. So when you have that transformation and it transcends everything with trying to, it's the same thing with people trying to figure out what to say to people. You're at a meeting and somebody says something negative to you, or you're at work, or you're at home with your family, or your spouse, your sisters, your brothers, or your children, or whatever it is in life, your mother-in-law. How many meetings you got to go to? Look, people go to a meeting and they say, hey, it was my mother-in-law, it was my spouse, it was this. First of all, it's a lie. The real problem is them. It's them and their thinking. But the thing is, when they go there, they're making it more real. I tried for years to try to adjust everything outside of myself. But, it says in our book, we can only sit there and smile. When people try to do us negative, we could sit there and smile through this book. But anyway, so how to be grounded in the power greater than ourselves. That's what it says here. It says here, unless this person, here are the phrases from this doctor's opinion, the first chapter here. Unless this person can experience an entire psychic change, there is little hope of recovery. So unless you have that psychic change towards your addictions, towards the food, I'm telling you this, and I know from experience from working with a lot of people, there's no recovery here. I'm telling you, the great thing about this addiction to food, people say they're grateful alcoholics. I mean, I dealt with people myself who dealt with, sugar's white powder, but they were addicted to cocaine, crack, and all of these heroin, whatever it is, white, that's that other white powder, right? And you know what they say? When they come in and they have to work this food addiction, they said this is what they call the final frontier. But what it does to people brings you closer to these steps of spiritual awakening by working this program and working these steps. So, going through these steps and in relation to the food, the answer is here. A lot of times I'll, do these meetings, somebody call me up and say, Bob, I liked at that time you were talking about the food, the calories, what we should eat, a special type of diet. No, the answer isn't there. The answer is in these steps, that transformation. The answer to all, it says in the book here about 5 times, the answer to all our problems. So the whole thing is this, that if you want that transformation, they're in the steps here. It's a 12-step program. Again, these steps are based on all philosophies and all religions of the world. And billions of people go to this because they have these spiritual transformations, right? I told you a story, I'll say it again last time, but I just said it's so worth talking about. This guy was, this debate with this atheist, and they were debating about, one guy saying, no, there is a higher consciousness, a God, and the person who didn't believe in God was saying, hey, there's no such thing, it's all about science and whatever, evolution, I don't know, he had all kinds of theories and stuff like that. So anyway, it was time for the questions and answers. So this guy comes up to the podium and he says, look, he was just saying he says, look, I took a higher power, a God of my understanding, into my life. He talked about a deity and he said he was reborn. And he says, my life since that happened has been tremendous, unbelievable change, and I feel great and everything is fantastic. I got out of self. I have this refuge or the spiritual grace of a God or whatever, in his life. So again, as I said last meeting, I'll say it again, the guy arguing with the person who didn't believe in God, he says, see here, what more proof do you need? What more proof do we need? When you see people work this program, myself, what more proof do I need? When I had that transformation, say, what is the transformation? It's when I realize that the thinking and my mind, they call it the stinking thinking, it's a product of the way I was brought up. People told me how to be successful, make more money, have people like me, all of these things. They brought me up every day on the TV. We were talking earlier about the advertisements from these big fast food corporations. They should be outlawed. They did it with cigarettes, but actually they allowed it because of the money. The food and corporations and the FDA and all of that, most of the people on there, almost all of them, are from the big corporations. So we don't have a chance. We have this addiction. The only solution, as the doctor said here, is a spiritual solution.